VC, nearly Chris here with another video. This time a response to Metal Ron Haggerty's 300 subs contest. If you don't know Metal Ron, you should. He's got a brilliant channel. Name gives it away. It is predominantly metal, but shows a great selection of stuff. Things I've not heard of before, things I've forgotten about, and he's definitely pointed me in the direction of one or two things that I should have and have picked up. Great channel, great guy. Cheers to your 300, mate, and here's the next 300. Now, Ron's theme for his contest is biblical, so I've gone for a biblical beer. This is the Durham Brewery, which is just down the road from me, and this is Evensong, so that seemed rather apt for this. Okay, so as I said, biblical theme. 3 different questions. The first question was, name a band whose name is inspired by a biblical term, phrase, whatever. I originally thought I'd struggle with this. Not because I wouldn't have a lot of stuff, but I've got an awful lot of metal, which, you know, Angel Witch. I haven't mentioned Angel Witch because I've seen it's already been mentioned, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit. Love the band though. So I've got loads of metal, mentioned heaven, hell, etc., etc. So I've tried to mix it up a little bit and pick some things that are perhaps a little bit not directly sort of obvious. I'm going to start things off with a nice, clever one, I thought. And this is Crown of Thorns. And this is their debut album on Now and Then Records in 1994. Now and Then 4-piece. It's great power pop. There's a definite Kiss influence in here. Gene Simmons was involved and Paul Stanley co-produced at least 4 or 5 of the tracks on here, and I think did backing vocals on at least 1. People you might recognise, there you go, Jean Beauvoir. He was in Plasmatics. Mickey Free was in Shalimar. Also toured with Prince and Diana Ross. Tony Thompson, the drummer, was in Power Station. So, you know, great sort of pop sensibilities there. Brilliant album, I love it. If you like that sort of Kiss power pop, 80s vibe, I think you'll love this. Well worth checking out. Some vinyl now, and this is New Jersey band Prophet. This is their 1988 album, Cycle of the Moon. I think it might be in the second, but I wouldn't like to swear on it. It's the only album I have by theirs. I have listened, they've got about 3 or 4 other albums, and I have listened to those, just not hooked me like this one has. This one I absolutely love. It's a very 80s AOR melodic rock with a sort of prog type slant to it, slightly punk rocky. Great. Love the vocalist on this, Russell Arcara. Again, another one well worth checking out. That's Prophet. Right, going back to a bit metal here, and this is German band Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate were a German sort of power metal band in the 1990s. They kind of started early 1990s and faded out by the end. I think they did several albums, but these are the first and second album from 91 and 92, Living in Hysteria and Hell for Sale. They're not Premier Division metal by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not dreadful either. Worth a listen. Having said that, they also produced the world's worst cover song, which has another biblical link, because they covered Monty Python's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, and it's bloody awful. The rest of the album's not too bad, worth checking out if you like that sort of German-inspired metal. Go for it. That's Heaven's Gate. Which brings us on to the second part of the questions, which was albums, titles with a biblical theme. So I thought I'd go up class a bit and a bit of classical music. This is John Tavener. The Protecting Veil. John Tavener was an English composer who died about 3 or 4 years ago. Produces some beautiful stuff. I mean, particularly his later work is quite minimal, very sparse, very reminiscent of Arvo Pärt, that similar style. This is a gorgeous piece of work. Now I'm trying to remember the guy's name, and I've got it written down somewhere. Yeah. Stevis Surlis was a cellist who asked Tavener to come up with a short piece of music for the cello to be accompanied by strings, and he came up with this whole work, and it is gorgeous. It's one of my Sunday morning albums. It's very relaxing, beautiful, beautiful. John Tavener was a Russian Orthodox Christian, and the work, the title is based around the Russian Orthodox feast of the Protecting Veil of the Mother of God. It's a beautiful, beautiful spiritual album, well worth checking out. That's John Tavener, The Protecting Veil. Next up, I need to give a booby warning. There's going to be boobies. There you go. Uriah Heep, Fallen Angel. This has got an amazing gatefold cover by Chris Achilleos. Chris Achilleos also did a number of other metal things, probably most recognisable for Love Hunter by Whitesnake. It's a great album. This is the third and final outing with John Lawton on vocals on a studio album for Uriah Heep. It's quite commercial. It's nowhere near as sort of proggy and psyche as the Dave Byron earlier stuff, but it's a good album. I really like it. So there you go. Fallen Angel. Where are we going now? Oh yes, a bit of cheese. Jim Steinman, Pandora's Box Project, The Original Sin. There you go. Bit of Adam and Eve for you. This is Jim Steinman and Todd Rundgren with 4 female lead vocals, including Ellen Foley, who worked with them both with Meatloaf on Bat Out of Hell. It is what you would expect. The most famous song off this is It's All Coming Back to Me Now, which was later covered by Celine Dion and Meatloaf himself. It's a good album. You know, it is what you would expect from Jim Steinman. It's overblown, it's operatic, it is definitely something you have to be in the mood to listen to. But all 4 girls have got really great voices, and I've always been a big fan of Ellen Foley. So this was a great one to pick up for me. That's Original Sin. I'll take some more inspiration here. All right, final 3 questions. So I come up with 3 song titles with a biblical theme. Maria McKee, You Gotta Sin to Get Saved. Brilliant. So it's the title track of the album. Brilliant. I mean, Maria McKee was the vocalist in Lone Justice. Brilliant sort of country American pop. I love this song. It's a brilliant, brilliant song. The whole album's great, but You Gotta Sin to Get Saved is just a stunning track. If you've never heard it before, I recommend you hunt it out on YouTube and give it a listen. Maria McKee. Back to vinyl again, and Todd Rundgren again, and Utopia. Oops, Wrong Planet. This is a great album. Absolutely great album. Released in 1977. And I could have picked 3 tracks off here because there's 3 tracks with sort of biblical reference. But I've gone for The Martyr. But I could have gone for The Marriage of Heaven and Hell or My Angel. Todd Rundgren's Utopia, great band, forever changing. You didn't know what you were going to get from album to album. This is slightly poppier. The album before this, Raw, was really quite out there. And this went very much into a pop vein. Brilliant album. And to finish things off, a bit of John Oliver's Pain from the album Taj Mahal. Track is Father, Son, Holy Ghost. There you go, a trinity for you. If you don't know John Oliver, if you like metal, I'll be surprised, but John Oliver was the main guy out of Savatage. He produced a number of solo albums under the John Oliver's Pain banner. Great tracks, brilliant US metal. Highly recommend it, well worth checking out. John Oliver's Pain, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. So there you go. I think it's the perfect time to finish because I can hear my wife pulling up in the car outside. Congratulations once again, Ron, on your 300 subs. Like I say, here's to the next 300. Congratulations, mate. Hope you enjoyed the selections. There was some that were a little bit different and you haven't come across. Give you something to listen to. Cheers and all the best. Bye now.